Constant optimization. You've got 17 productivity apps. Color-coded calendar. Morning routine down to the minute. You're optimizing everything. Sleep tracking. Habit stacking. Time blocking. But here's the thing. You're spending more time perfecting the system than actually doing the work. Meet Andrew. 32. Marketing director trying to scale his efficiency. He discovers productivity YouTube. Game over. Month 1. He tests bullet journaling, buys the perfect notebook, watches 12 tutorials on the perfect layout, spends 4 hours designing his first spread. Week 2 arrives. The system feels too rigid. He switches to digital. Notion templates. He builds databases. 50 pages of linked systems. Beautiful. Week 3. He discovers time blocking. Restructures everything. Color codes his calendar down to 15-minute increments. Adds Pomodoro technique on top. Week 4. Sleep tracking app added. Now he's optimizing sleep for optimal morning routine for optimal work blocks. Month 2 hits. He's combining methods. Bullet journal for creative work. Notion for projects. Todoist for quick capture. Google Calendar for time blocks. Rescue time tracking everything. He spends 90 minutes each morning updating all systems. His systems are talking to each other. He's productive, right? Month 3. Performance review. His manager pulls up the numbers. Project output down 40% from last quarter. Andrew's confused. He's never been more organized, never more optimized. But the data doesn't lie. He's producing less, not more. He reviews his own time logs. The truth hits. 68% of his work time spent on system maintenance. Documentation. Tweaking. Optimizing the optimization. Week 14. He breaks. Deletes half the apps. Keeps one simple task list. No fancy systems. No optimization. Just, what needs doing today? He writes 3 things. Does them. That's it. 2 weeks later, his output doubles. Exceeds his previous peak. Timeline. 3 months wasted perfecting systems. 2 weeks to beat his best work ever. Here's what Carnegie Mellon researchers discovered studying knowledge workers. They identified what psychologists call meta-work, work about work rather than actual output. Their findings, published in Organization Science, revealed workers spending up to 60% of time on coordination and system management rather than core tasks. A Stanford study tracking productivity system complexity found diminishing returns after 3 organizational tools. Performance declined as systems expanded. Why? Cognitive load. Your brain spends energy managing the system instead of doing the work. Here's what people miss. The system isn't the goal. The system serves the goal. When system building becomes your primary activity, you've replaced doing with planning to do. Your brain loves optimization because it feels like progress. Tangible, measurable, completable. But completable doesn't mean important. That's not productivity optimization. That's productive procrastination disguised as progress. Simple systems win. Not because they're impressive, because they remove friction instead of adding it. Your brain needs direction, not perfection. One imperfect system executed daily beats 10 perfect systems planned forever. Simplicity isn't settling. It's strategic. Stop building. Start doing. Multitasking efficiency. Meeting on Zoom. Email open in another tab. Slack messages coming in. Podcast playing in the background. You're handling 4 things simultaneously and feeling incredibly efficient. Except when the meeting ends, you can't remember what was discussed. The email you sent has 3 typos. The Slack message you answered was for someone else. Meet David. Project manager. Pride himself on multitasking mastery. Efficiency expert. That's what he calls himself. Month 1. He's in his element. Morning stand-up while responding to emails. Client calls while reviewing documents. Writing reports during team meetings. His calendar is stacked. Triple booked. He's getting so much done. Look at all these tasks. All at once. Week 3. His coworker asks about the decision from yesterday's meeting. David has no idea what she's talking about. He was there, wasn't he? He checks his notes. Blank. He was writing an email during the discussion. Week 4. His manager forwards an email David sent to a client. 5 typos. 1 wrong number in the proposal. Embarrassing. Week 5. Another meeting he can't recall. Someone asks him to repeat his update. He wasn't listening to himself. Month 2 arrives. The mistakes are piling up. Redoing work. Following up on missed details. Scheduling extra meetings because he wasn't present in the first ones. His team starts repeating themselves. As I mentioned before, they say. He never heard them. He was multitasking. Month 3. Performance review. His manager is direct. Your output quality has dropped significantly. You're making mistakes you never made before. What's going on? David realizes. The multitasking he thought saved time? Creating more work than it saved? Week 1 of single-tasking experiment. Forced by his manager. 1 task. Full attention. Completion before switching. Feels agonizingly slow. Week 2. He notices something. Fewer errors. No redos. Tasks actually finish faster when he's not fragmenting attention. Week 3. The data is clear. His error rate dropped 73%. Task completion time decreased 40%. He was faster and better working on one thing. Timeline. 3 months of multitasking, creating more work than it saved. Here's what Stanford researchers discovered. They studied people who multitask regularly versus those who don't. Published findings in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences revealed heavy multitaskers performed worse on every measure. Worse at filtering irrelevant information, worse at switching tasks, worse at using working memory. Why? Because multitasking is a myth. Your brain can't actually process multiple complex tasks simultaneously. It's rapidly switching. Each switch costs. Research on task switching shows an average 25-minute refocus time after interruption. What psychologists call attention residue cognitive remnants from previous tasks interfering with current task performance. Your brain carries fragments forward. Divided attention creates compound inefficiency. Here's what people miss. What feels efficient is actually fragmenting your cognition. Your brain works better with focus, not fragmentation. Each switch depletes. Each interruption costs. The feeling of efficiency, illusion created by motion. Not results. That's not efficiency. That's divided attention creating the illusion of productivity while reducing actual output quality. Single tasking isn't slower. It's faster with higher quality. Protect your attention like currency. The most productive people aren't doing more simultaneously. They're doing less with complete presence. 1 task. Full brain. Then, next. Depth beats breadth every time. Busy as status. Someone asks how you're doing. Your answer. Busy. Crazy busy. So busy. You wear exhaustion like a badge. Booked calendar proves you're important. Full inbox means you're needed. Except you're confusing motion with progress. Activity with achievement. Meet Rachel, startup founder. Her calendar is her identity. Every slot filled. Back-to-back meetings. Proof of her value. Quarter 1. She's hustling. 16-hour days normalized. Meetings stacked. Breakfast meetings. Lunch meetings. Coffee meetings. Dinner meetings. Weekend calls. She responds to Slack within 3 minutes. Always. Email turnaround under 10 minutes. Available always. Her team watches. They copy the behavior. Busy becomes culture. Month 4 arrives. She's exhausted, but proud. Look at this calendar. Completely full. Important people don't have free time, right? Her investors see the hustle. Approve. Keep going, they say. Month 5. Key employee quits. Exit interview reveals the truth. Unsustainable pace. Burnout culture. Can't do this anymore. Rachel is shocked. She's leading by example. The example is exhaustion. Quarter 2 ends. Rachel reviews revenue. Unchanged from last quarter, actually down slightly. Despite triple the hours. Triple the meetings. How is that possible? She's busier than ever. Quarter 3. Another employee leaves. Same reason. The pattern is clear, but Rachel doesn't see it. Busy means productive. More hours means more results. That's how it works, right? Quarter 4. Her advisor suggests something radical. Calendar audit. Independent consultant reviews every meeting. The findings are brutal. 60% of meetings unnecessary. Could be emails, could be canceled, could be delegated. Half her calendar serving no strategic purpose. Just busy. Week 1 of new system. Rachel cuts 50% of meetings, protects deep work blocks, says no, stops responding instantly, stops glorifying exhaustion, feels guilty, like she's slacking. Month 1 after shift. Revenue increases 18%. Month 2, up another 20%. Quarter 5 results come in. Revenue up 38% from previous quarter, with 40% fewer work hours. Timeline. 1 year of busy producing stagnation. 1 quarter of focus producing growth. Here's what research reveals. Columbia and Harvard researchers studying busyness as status symbol found people equate packed schedules with importance and competence. What psychologists call busyness. Bias the tendency to assume busy people are more valuable, important, and successful. Published in Journal of Consumer Research. But separate studies, tracking knowledge worker output, found an inverse relationship between hours worked and quality after 45 to 50 hours weekly. Cognitive performance degrades. Decision quality decreases. A University of Melbourne study on rest and productivity showed strategic recovery periods increased output quality by up to 30%. Your brain needs rest to function optimally. Not optional. Necessary. Here's what people miss. Busy is a choice, not a circumstance. Your packed calendar might signal poor boundaries, not importance. Rest isn't laziness. It's strategic recovery, enabling better output. Exhaustion doesn't prove dedication. It proves unsustainable systems. That's not productivity. That's performative exhaustion, masking, lack of priorities. Strategic rest outperforms relentless hustle. Your value isn't measured by calendar density but by impact created. Saying no protects your yes. The most successful people aren't the busiest. They're the most selective about what deserves their time. Essentialism wins. Protect your energy. It's finite. Morning routine perfection. 5 a.m. wake up. Meditation. Journaling. Cold shower. Green smoothie. Podcast. During workout. Affirmations. Reading. By 8 a.m. you've completed your miracle morning. Except you're exhausted. You spent 3 hours on self-improvement, 0 hours on actual work, and if you miss one element, the whole day feels ruined. Meet Lisa. Entrepreneur. Her morning routine consumed her life. Literally. Month 1. She discovers morning routine content. The 5 a.m. club. Miracle mornings. High performers all have routines. She builds hers. 4:45 wake up. 20 minutes meditation. 15 minutes journaling. 10-minute cold shower. Smoothie prep. 30-minute workout with podcast. 20 minutes reading. 15 minutes affirmations. 2 hours total. Every morning. Non-negotiable. Week 2. She's proud. Posting on Instagram. Screenshot of her routine. Engagement is high. She's disciplined. Optimized. Successful people do this. Week 3 arrives. She sleeps through alarm one day. Wakes at 5:30. Panics. The routine is disrupted. She can restart. Do the full 2 hours, but that makes her late for first meeting. She skips. Entire day feels off. Ruined. Week 4. Misses workout one morning. Kid was sick. She tries to do the routine anyway. Everything rushed. Quality drops. Feels worse than skipping. Month 2. The routine is ruling her, not serving her. She's going to bed at 9 p.m. to wake at 4:45, missing evening family time. But successful people sacrifice, right? Month 3. Sleep debt accumulates. Afternoon crashes hit. Needs coffee to function past 2 p.m. But her morning energy? Perfect. For those 2 hours. Then collapse. Month 4. She tracks her work output. Business metrics. Stagnating. She's spending more time on morning routine optimization than business strategy. The routine is perfect. The business isn't growing. Month 5. Everything shifts. She gets honest. Reduces routine to 3 non-negotiables. 15 minutes total. Quick workout, coffee, priorities list. That's it. Flexible on method. Walks some days, yoga others. Whatever she feels. Some mornings, skip it entirely. If kid needs her. If she's tired. Permission granted. Week 2 of simplified routine. Her energy increases. Not from perfect routine, from adequate sleep. From flexibility reducing stress. Month 2. Business output doubles. She's starting work rested. Not exhausted from self-optimization. Timeline. 5 months of routine perfectionism, creating exhaustion and stagnation. 2 months of simplicity creating energy and growth. Here's what research shows. A study from the University of Toronto on decision fatigue found complex morning routines deplete willpower before the workday begins. What psychologists call ego depletion. The idea that self-control is a limited resource exhausted through use. Every decision in your routine costs. By work time, you're depleted. Separate research on routine complexity published in European Journal of Social Psychology found diminishing returns after 3 core habits. Additional habits added stress without proportional benefit. Sleep researchers at Berkeley found early wake times without adequate sleep reduced executive function by up to 29%. You're not optimizing. You're sabotaging. Here's what people miss. The routine exists to serve your goals, not become the goal. A perfect morning that leaves you depleted isn't serving you. Flexibility beats rigidity. Your routine should energize, not exhaust. That's not self-improvement. That's self-imposed pressure disguised as optimization. 3 effective habits beat 10 performed resentfully. Rest is productive. The best routine is the one you'll actually maintain long-term. Success isn't about morning perfection. It's about sustainable energy throughout the day. Simple, flexible, energizing. That's the formula that works. Learning without implementing. You've completed 12 courses this year. Consumed 40 books, attended 6 webinars. Your notes are immaculate, highlighting system perfect. You can explain the concepts brilliantly. But when was the last time you actually applied anything you learned? Your knowledge is expanding. Your results aren't. Meet Marcus. Aspiring entrepreneur. 3 years of learning. 0 execution. He can teach business better than people running businesses. Year 1. Foundation courses. Business strategy, marketing fundamentals, sales psychology, customer acquisition, productivity systems, personal development. He's building knowledge. Preparing. Getting ready. Year 2. Advanced courses, conversion optimization, email marketing mastery, paid advertising, product development, scaling strategies, team building. He's almost ready. Just needs a bit more. Year 3. Specialty courses, niche marketing, funnel optimization, copywriting frameworks, launch strategies. He's an expert now, on paper. Month 36. He's in a mastermind group. Someone shares their launch results. First month revenue, $8,000. Marcus congratulates them, asks questions, gives advice from his courses. Later, he reviews their website. Basic, amateur even. Their marketing? Simple. Nothing fancy. How did they succeed with so little knowledge? He has triple their education, 0 their results. Month 37. Reality hits. His competitor knew less, but she learned through doing. He learned through studying. She made mistakes, adjusted, improved. Real-world education. He made notes, highlighted, organized. Theoretical education. Month 38. Marcus gives himself permission. Permission to be bad. Permission to fail. Permission to learn by doing instead of preparing to do. Week 1. He launches imperfect offer. Basic website, simple email. 20 people on his list. Applies 1 concept from his 3-year library. 1. Makes $200. First revenue ever. Week 2. He applies another concept, tests it, fails, adjusts, learns more from this failure than any course taught. Week 3. Different approach. Based on real feedback. Not theoretical frameworks. Works better. Month 2 arrives. He's made more progress in 8 weeks of implementation than 3 years of courses. The education is real now, not abstract. Timeline. 3 years of learning producing 0 results. 2 months of imperfect action, producing revenue and actual understanding. Here's what research reveals. Studies on learning retention, published in national training laboratories, found passive learning methods retain 10% of information. Active learning through practice? 75%. Why? Because your brain builds neural pathways through doing, not observing. Educational psychology research shows what they call the illusion of competence. People mistake familiarity with content for ability to apply it. Reading about marketing doesn't make you a marketer. Practicing marketing does. A meta-analysis from Journal of Applied Psychology tracking skill acquisition found failure-based learning produced competence faster than instruction-based learning. You learn by implementing badly, not studying perfectly. Here's what people miss. Your brain confuses learning about something with being able to do something. Knowledge without application is trivia, not skill. Courses feel productive because you're consuming information. But consumption isn't creation. Understanding isn't ability. That's not education. That's intellectual hoarding, disguised as growth. 1 implemented concept beats 100 studied. Your real education happens through application, not accumulation. Stop collecting knowledge. Start building proof. You don't need more information. You need more experimentation. Imperfect action beats perfect planning. Always. Your failures teach faster than any course ever will. Productivity shame spiral. You spent today feeling guilty about yesterday. Yesterday you felt guilty about last week. You're constantly behind. Never enough. Productivity content everywhere showing people doing more, achieving more, optimized more. Meanwhile, you're stuck in the cycle. Feeling bad about not doing enough makes you freeze. Freezing makes you do less. Doing less makes you feel worse. Meet Taylor. Creative professional. Productivity comparison paralyzed him completely. He followed the wrong people. Quarter 1. He discovers productivity TikTok. Inspiration, he thinks. Follows 50 accounts. Everyone's waking at 4 a.m. Everyone's got routines, systems, results. They're posting wins. He's posting nothing. He's behind already. Week 2. He tries matching their routines. Fails day 3. Feels inadequate. They make it look easy. What's wrong with him? Week 3. More content, more comparison. Everyone's achieving more. Faster, better, younger. He's 29 and failing. They're 22 and thriving. Month 2 arrives. He's consuming productivity content daily. For motivation, it's having the opposite effect. Every video makes him feel worse. Look at what they're doing. Look at what he's not. The gap grows. Not in reality, in his mind. Month 3. He's attempting 7 different productivity methods simultaneously, trying to match 7 different people's systems, failing at all of them. Each failure confirms his inadequacy. He's broken. Productivity doesn't work for him. Quarter 2. The shame is constant. Background noise. Every moment not working feels like failure. Every break feels like laziness. Every rest feels like falling behind. So, he works. Through exhaustion. Through burnout. Through diminishing returns. Quarter 3 hits. His productivity is lower than before discovering productivity content. The shame created paralysis. The paralysis created more shame. Spiral complete. Month 10. He breaks. Unfollows everyone. Every productivity account. Every optimization guru. Every 4 a.m. morning person. Gone. Silence. Week 1 after purge. He asks himself one question. Just one. What's the smallest thing I can do today that moves me forward? 15 minutes. He writes for 15 minutes. No judgment, no comparison. Just work. Week 2. 15 minutes again. Then 20. Because it felt good. Week 3. 30 minutes. Natural progression. No pressure. Month 2 after unfollowing. He's doing 60 minutes daily. Consistent. No shame, no comparison. Just showing up. Month 3. He reviews his output, exceeds his previous peak. Before productivity content. Before optimization. Before shame. Timeline. 9 months of productivity, shame creating paralysis. 3 months of shame-free consistency, creating actual progress. Here's what research shows. Studies on social comparison published in Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found upward comparison comparing yourself to people performing better decreased motivation and increased goal abandonment, not increased performance. Separate research from the University of Texas on shame and achievement found shame-based motivation reduced performance by up to 40% compared to self-compassion-based approaches. What psychologists call the comparison trap, the tendency to measure progress against others' curated highlights rather than personal baselines, creating demotivation and paralysis. Research on self-compassion from the University of California found self-compassion increased goal achievement rates by 63% compared to self-criticism. Kindness works. Shame doesn't. Here's what people miss. Productivity content often reduces productivity by creating shame. That shame paralyzes instead of motivates. Comparison kills motivation. Shame never created sustainable change. Your pace is valid. Your version of productive doesn't need to match anyone else's. That's not motivation. That's shame disguised as inspiration. Progress doesn't require perfection. Small, consistent action beats big, sporadic effort. Stop measuring against highlight reels. Start measuring against yesterday's version of you. The only productivity system that works is the one you'll actually use, not the one that looks impressive, the one that fits your life, your energy, your brain. Choose effectiveness over appearance. Choose sustainability over sprints. Choose self-compassion over self-punishment. Your progress is real even when it's quiet, even when it's slow, even when it doesn't look like theirs. What looks productive on social media often isn't. What actually works rarely photographs well. The mental habits that look productive but aren't share one truth. They replace doing with the appearance of doing. Real productivity is simpler, messier, and more forgiving. It's showing up imperfectly, moving forward incrementally, trusting that small steps compound. That's not just productive, that's sustainable. That's real. Tell me in the comments which mental habit hit you hardest today. And if you want more content that exposes the myths and reveals what actually works, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next one.